Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. There they are, folks. The legendary IPD anti-sway bars for the P80 cars. I made a list of the top 5 changes or modifications that I made to my black wagon, and these were number 2. They really help the car handle. I have come to the conclusion that these bars make the car handle as if the car is loaded down. I've been driving this Platinum wagon for, about 1,200 miles, loaded down with a bunch of stuff in the car. And I'm like, this thing handles really well. But then I drove that wagon there with nothing in the car hardly, just a few things. And I could tell the difference in the handling. And the main difference is when the car's loaded down, it handles pretty flat. And these bars help it handle like that without compromising the comfort of the ride. So we're going to go ahead and put these on this Platinum wagon so that this thing can handle nice and flat around corners. We also have these bushings that we're going to replace in the rear end. The bushings that are in the Delta links. We're going to put those in. Finally got this left side bushing out. It sits in there like this. It's the one with the 2 thin fingers, I call them, on it. And they point toward the middle of the car. So I got that one out. Getting ready to put it on the end of the trailing arm, put it back in place, and then I need to get the passenger side one out. Kicking off the morning, going to torque these axle bolts. Forgot to do that last night. Glad I remembered last night when I turned those tools in. So I had to rent another set this morning, get these axle bolts torqued. Then I'm going to start dropping the stuff in this engine compartment. I'm looking for the box air filter, can't seem to find it. The tube that comes up here to the purge filter broke on me. I gotta find a vacuum or something for that. But in the meantime, I need to see if I got one of these air filters. I borrowed a pipe wrench from the folks here, and I was able to break that nut loose on top of that strut. Man, that thing was pretty tough without an impact gun. You got to get creative with this stuff. So I put the pipe wrench on it like that, and I got that bolt loose. So I'm gonna take it loose and plan on doing that in a little while. But let me finish up this Platinum first. I got it off. Fortunate for me, it has the safety net on there, but this may be on there too tight now, so I'll deal with that a little later. In the meantime, let me go finish this other car. I cannot find the air filter for that other car. That's strange. I am ready to drop fluids. I need to ask the owner if he wants to leave that performance bushing in there or if he wants that replaced with the OEM more comfortable one. I bumped that alarm horn and that button shattered that helps you screw that alarm horn to adjust it. I got a screw missing from here. I think I got a spare I'm gonna put in there. And I got this cover here. It's got an improper screw on that, no big deal. And that is busted over there. It has a fake screw in there. So let me go ahead and drop some fluids in here, make sure I don't have any leaks, and get ready to fire this thing up. I got transmission empty, the engine empty, and the coolant's empty. Oh, I need to replace that coolant hose right there before I do that. So let me replace that coolant hose real quick. And he didn't have the coolant hose for this bottle, but man, I don't have an oil filter on this car, so I need to get an oil filter for it. I'm gonna guess maybe this car has had a transmission job before, because there's a couple things that are out of place that indicates it might have had a transmission replaced. But there's also a screw out of this dipstick that holds this dipstick secure. I don't know if that's part of the PMP switch replacement or not, but I need to get a dipstick for that, or it's hardware to secure this dipstick. They had a crappy aftermarket thermostat in here, which I really am afraid of. I got a Volvo thermostat, but the box didn't have the thermostat gasket in it. I don't understand that. So I checked all these other gaskets and seals in the box, and I do not see a seal for this thermostat. I got oil cap seals, but I don't see one for that thermostat, man. Here it is. Must have came out of the box. Whew, that scared me. Hate to have to try to use the old one. Let me get this thermostat installed. I got those bolts out. They came out pretty easy. I'm gonna put those 10mm bolts back in. I got this hose on. Did not have the Volvo clamps. That kind of stinks, but I got it on fine. I don't think I crimped it, and there was some crappy hose on the back of that too. That's a turbo return. That thing is hard as a rock because it's not the proper hose for that. The thing takes coolant off of that turbo, and man, that thing gets real hot, so it's important to have the right hose on there. That's the part number. According to the Volvo manual, that jiggle pin points to the driver's seat 1 o'clock position. I pointed almost to that bolt there. So let me get this secure. Got this top timing belt cover secure with the brackets. This line that was busted down here, I put some 5/8 inch fuel line on it. That should hold that just fine. So let me pull that thing back up here and secure it on this purge valve. Ouch. I didn't notice that this was 530 before I installed it. The owner's manual warns people against using 530 weight oil if your temperature gets above 68 degrees. Why are you guys still putting 530 in these cars? It could cause excessive wear in your engine, cause your engine to wear out faster. People keep doing it. I have no idea why. Boggles my mind. Had I seen this before I opened this bottle and started pouring this in, I would have took it back to the store and exchanged it for 1030 or 1040. You guys wear your engine out if you want. I doubt you'll get 500,000. Cars are throwing rods, wearing out bearings, wearing out wrist pins, all that stuff. And I'm willing to bet they're using 530 or something thinner. I talked to a guy the other day, he poured 020 in his engine. Man, I don't know why you guys are not paying attention. I got a serious rant about this, but people keep doing it. Oh well, wear your engine out if you want. Think we're ready to start this car, check it for leaks, make sure it runs, yada yada yada. Clean off this old timing belt, put the new one on here, and button this thing up and start doing some of the cosmetic stuff. Let me go ahead and fire this thing up, hook up the battery. I didn't undo the fuel line, so this thing should fire right up. There it is, folks. AC's on too. Cut the AC off. Let this thing run a few minutes, get this coolant circulating, and service this coolant. Serpentine belt's tracking good. Timing belt's tracking good. A little bit on the back, but it's good. I'm gonna look under it, make sure nothing's leaking, and then get this thing out of here so I can take it for a test drive, make sure everything feels tight, and go from there. I almost forgot, I don't have this accelerator hooked up or this cruise pump because that stuff wasn't hooked up right in the first place. But let me get this stuff cleared out of here, get this pedal reinstalled and the cruise linkage hooked up properly, and then take this thing for a test drive. The car ran for about 10 minutes, no evidence of any leaking in here. I got that bracket put back in. I'm pretty sure this gas pedal arrangement is supposed to be like this. This metal piece here and this piece here is supposed to be up there like that. Somehow it was flipped backwards, but it looks like the throttle cable was replaced on this car, so somebody probably jacked that up, replacing the throttle cable. So I'm going to put this back like this, then put that back up in there and clip this stuff back together. Should be good to go. Got all that stuff back together. Gas pedals returning, the cruise pump's hooked up, and this is ready to roll. The splash panels, protective panels from the heater core are missing, so I'm going to get a set of those and ship them to them. It's 11:36, still making good time. I'm going to clean this mess up a little bit, get this car out of here, and see what else I can get into. And now, for the moment that Sebastian has been waiting for. Ta-da! No cabin air filter. Totally missing. I got a new one I'm going to put in there right now. The Volvo one comes with a sticker. I couldn't get it to stick down there, so I stuck it right there. Should be good enough. Let's get this timing belt cover on. Doesn't look like I have any leaks down there. We got 2 lights. Low coolant, and I fixed the bulb in the SRS, and it is on. So we're going to read the codes there. You got 2 codes. SRS warning lamp. Short circuit, open ground. No counters for this. Let's see if we can figure out what the other one is. That one's a 127. Passenger airbag. That's probably because the airbag wasn't plugged in. So I'm going to try to erase those codes and see what happens. See if that stays out. It said they're erased. And the light is out, so we should be good to go. Alright, let me cut this off. Take this thing for a little test drive and top off the coolant. Now it needs an alignment. It is rolling to the left. You move all that stuff around, change mounts, change CV axles, change control arms. This thing needs an alignment pretty bad. It'll go around the corner for you. Look at that steering wheel. And I'm changing lanes. So, let me turn this thing around so I don't overheat it, low on coolant a little bit, and get this coolant topped off. Now, I do not have a low coolant light, so maybe it hadn't burped yet. I still have a light bulb out on my turn signal, left front. I need to replace that bulb real quick. I got bulbs because I just replaced the tail lights. So one of those tail light bulbs should be the same as that bulb up there. But let me go ahead and turn in here, get that bulb replaced. Oh crap, the bulb in the cluster's not working either. Oh man, that's horrible. I had to pull this dash pad back off, get that working. I don't know when that went out. It was working on my way up here. Shoot, I thought it was working just now, a few minutes ago. So the bulb just burned out. Horrible. I'm gonna scan this thing for ABS codes before I shut it down. Before we kept getting the right rear wheel sensor, now we don't have none. With this fresh ABS module from Midwest ABS, good to go. Coolant's low. Let's see if we got a low coolant light. Yes, low coolant light works. I did notice. Oh, let me cut that off. I did notice this firewall mount is totally destroyed, so that needs to be replaced. Got the OEM mount there with my press. I got to ship some heavy stuff so I don't have to pay too much on baggage. So let me go ahead and run the air, top this coolant off. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.